Hi, Miss Aline. Thank you for coming to our session today. So, how are you feeling?
Hi, Sarah. So, thank you for inviting me, and I'm doing good.
Oh, that's great. So far, have you eaten?
Yeah, I have my quite early dinner just now at a Tom Yum shop near my facility.
Oh, that must be good, right? So today, I'm sorry for taking a bit of your time tonight to do this interview for your work and your study balance. Uh, may I ask you if you are comfortable in speaking in Malay or in English, or you would prefer to mix it?
Yeah, I'm good with, yeah, I'm good with everything. So maybe
Okay,
sometimes
so
I will use rojak if I don't know that specific answer lah.
okay, that's okay then, because I'm going to do the caption in English, okay? Okay,
Okay.
so basically what I'm going to interview about today is we just want to see that's not really stressful. I just want to see how you manage your student life and also your work life, because based on my understanding that you are currently doing your master research while also working on a grant, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So okay, let me dive a bit into your background. So where are you from? Just what your a bit of your background.
So basically, before that, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Alin Suraya. I am a graduate research assistant in Gelamilami Biotechnology Research Centre, University Malaya. So currently, I'm doing master research on sheep physiology and reproduction. And during my undergrads, I'm doing animal husbandry. So this pathway of my master research quite aligned with what I'm doing during my undergrads.
Okay, that's good. So may I know which state are you from?
So I came from Perak, actually, in Paripunta.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so are you married and how old are you?
Oh, I'm still single and still in my 20s. Still in my mid
20.
20s, yes.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to dive. There are three sections in this interview. So we are going to talk about your career growth
Okay.
and your career development and also your career challenges.
Yeah. Sure.
So I'm gonna ask you the first question is, so since most of people your age, usually they will, after they finish their undergrad, they will work first and then they will further their masters, right? So may I ask why do you think that you want to further your masters directly after you finish your undergrad?
So if you want to if you are putting the perspective into why, it's actually the most suitable answer that I can give is the chance or peluang lah. Because not everyone akan boleh ada peluang untuk sambung belajar terus lepas study. So macam yang Cik Sarah tanya, kebanyakannya orang akan kerja dulu kan. So for me, since I baru sahaja habis my internships, so the momentum of study is still there. So I think it is a responsibility for me to grab the chance that you are still in the mood to study, to further your study in master lah.
Okay, so it's just like you already had the chance and you just go for it, is it?
Yeah,
Okay,
and
that's good.
also based on minat lah. Based on
Mm. So you would say that based on your what you said earlier, that your undergrad also align with your masters, right?
yes.
Okay. So how has your view of your field from undergrad to your masters has shifted now that you are not just a student, but you are also as an adult, working adult?
Yeah. So actually, I find it quite funny because during my undergrads, I always see postgrad students like oh, they're so good, they're so hebat, they can do many things at one place. And you know, when you see your senior doing a lab work and you feel, oh, maybe I want to be a researcher. But actually, when you actually in the field of postgrad, and all of those romanticized thoughts that you had completely shifted. So what I can put it in a simpler way is, during your undergrad you learn a method, but in your postgrad you create a method. So that's quite a big, that's quite a significant changes lah from my undergrads to the postgrad. Yeah.
So you realize that it's more hard to apply the method instead of just learning the method.
I wouldn't say it's hard because I would say it's quite challenging. It's not hard. It's challenging since you need multiple verification on any something that you do, any method that you do. You have to have not once. Yeah.
Okay. That's such a very different way to say it.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say that you went to an event or anything related to you networking with anyone, and when someone asks you what do you do, do you introduce yourself primarily as a researcher, a student, or a specialist in your field?
So, actually, I have quite went to several events during my master here. So, such as, and I've met like different demographic of people. For example, is when I met when I go to the conference, I met with the lecturers and professors. And we have like event with the communities here. We went to the schools to teach, to expose them to biology. So most of the time I will put myself as a student lah, because I am a student. I'm not a specialist. But since I introduce me as a graduate research assistant, some of the people, they don't actually know the scope or the position of the graduate research assistant is actually a student. Yeah.
Okay. So if I may ask you, why do you prefer to say that you are a student instead of a researcher?
So it's actually depends on people. Sometimes when I was introduced by my supervisors, of course they will put me as a student. But sometimes when I'm doing a project, research project with several of the researchers, so that's when I was introduced as a researcher. But for me, both of the I don't quite have any preference because I am both of them. Yeah.
So you don't have any bias, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So how does staying within the same discipline as in your both your degree and your master is right? How does staying in this same area validate your career goal? So first, may I ask what is your career goal? Where are you going with this master's degrees?
Okay, so the career growth is, of course, when we talk about pursuing the master, the stereotype people will say, yeah, sambung master nanti sambung PhD, the lecturer. So that's one of it lah. But actually people don't know that with masters you can also further your career growth into non-educational field. For example, is my research is basically on the physiology and reproduction, right? So I can also plan on my career on maybe 10 or 15 years. No, that's too long. Maybe 2 or 3 years after I graduate to be an embryologist at the local hospitals, and that's one of it lah. Yeah.
Okay. So how does staying in the same area of these studies validate your goals? Do you think it helps, or do you think that it doesn't?
I will say it helps because during my undergrad I already learned about the fundamental of let's say for my project for a sheep, but I didn't go further into like their reproductive cell, how they how people are doing to increase the superior genetics of any sheep. So for me, if maybe if by when maybe if during my undergrad I didn't learn any about animals, I wouldn't have this much passion to do my research, master in research.
So in a way, your undergrad does influence you to do
Yes.
the master's research.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. Okay, so let's say I'm talking about future here. So when you picture a career peak, let's say in a 5 to 10 years, how much does your current, masters and your recent research assistant job would would form to build the foundation for the future?
Okay. So as I mentioned before, the career pathway of a master student stereotypically is going to be a lecturer in the educational field. So actually, what if you ask about the kita punya orang kata apa ni kemahiran tu kita build slowly during our research assistantship. Contohnya bila dekat masa ni you have to learn how to do a grant proposal, how to do LOI, how to do the MOU, LOU, all of that people in research field they will know lah. So when you are let's say 5 to 10 years you want to interview for a lecturer position or maybe a professor position, right? So if you do not know this basic skill, it's hard for you to survive because everything that you need to do, you have to think that everything you need to do must be a confidential agreement between the partners.
So okay, so we will get into the second part of the interview whereby I will ask about your career development. So are you okay? Do you need a little break or okay? You okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, so given that you are now 25 based on the answers that you gave me in the form, right? Unofficially 25. And you are pursuing, like I said, pursuing your master's instead of working. So how actively are you planning for your next step, especially when you finish your master's, right? All your friends is already, 2 to 3 years in their work experience. And what step are you taking, like what step you going to do to, prepare you for the life after your graduation from your master's?
So for that question, I wouldn't say that I'm going to graduate with zero work experience because I am also working, and also what is the preparation for me to enter the working field is I can say that with the experience of being a research assistant, I also learn more on the industry, especially when I'm contacting the suppliers for the chemicals. So basically during my study, we have to talk a lot with people. we are exposed a lot with the industries. For example, is my research is basically was funded by Australian grant, so we oftenly keep in touch to to share the information, to share the experience, and also I think that's for the that is for the orang kata by theory lah. When you ask people, dari segi hands-on pun, for example, if I want to penetrate to the livestock industry, so currently what I am doing is also I was meeting the sheeps every day. So eventually I also put myself in the livestock industry punya people on how they think if something happened to the sheep, their nutrition, their physiology, their everything. Yeah, so I think in my position also exposed also give you experience and persediaan lah for you to penetrate the larger market, the larger industry. Yes.
So in a way, you're saying that your master's is also a preparation for, the work experience, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So the next question might be a bit personal. So let's say in your daily research assistant duties, right? You work with your supervisors and your colleagues, right? So
Yes.
let's say, how much autonomy do you feel that you have over, decision, schedule, or methodologies that you use during your work?
Oh, actually, it depends. So, secara umumnya, this decision is depends on supervisor lah. Lain orang, lain style supervisor dia akan, bimbing you. So for my case, I have to draft everything based on of my methodology. Of course, based on papers, based on how my seniors done it before, and then we will have a short, we will have a discussion on how we're going to do in a of the certain experiment, and then during the experiment, also we have to follow lah everything that I have draft, and we also have a postmortem meeting so that so the initial decision making, I can say it based on me, and then I will refer to my supervisors, and if they have any ideas, so they will add, and the final decision will be endorsed by them also lah. So it's a team decision making at the end. Yes.
Okay, so have you ever encountered moments or situation whereby your ideas clash with your supervisors punya lead?
I can say if every researchers will know this feeling where we have a very good paper, is a Q1, is a WOS, but the method is slightly difficult than other method. So, of course, especially when you're working with the Prof. Madias, professors, so they have a lot of experience in their head. They have different opinions on something. So, I can say it's not a rare occasion, but yeah, it can come to the conclusion at the end. But at the end of the day, we have to do the experiment pun. So, yeah.
So you would say that it's not a rare occasion lah to have like
Clash of
mixed, clash of opinions, right? So I want to know how do you handle the situation? How do you handle your stress as a human when we give our best? We think we give our best, and then somehow the ideas got rejected. So how do you handle the rejection during your work?
Is the answer need to be on my personal, or how do I resolve it with my supervisor?
I would say personally, how do you deal with the
Okay.
internal, in our human relation, our inner human feelings, being
Mm-mm.
rejected, and also like how do you deal with, still being professional, even though maybe sometimes you're angry with your supervisors, maybe.
I would say because, yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, I need to do the experiment. So I will, uh, you do something that you like first. You have to take a break from the laptop first. But, um, yeah, it's not, for me, it's not that challenging to put my heart a little bit far because I have
Mm,
to, because we have milestones, right? So if we fall behind the milestone, we, uh, I will, uh, things got dragged and I cannot do the work. So
mm,
in the case of how I resolve with the supervisor is, of course, I will discuss elok-elok lah. And also I will, because sometimes I think the supervisors are telling me this because, yeah, they're supervisors. That they are the reason why they are supervisors. So I have to accept it lah. Even though I think that my method is the best, but you have to take point of what your supervisors told you also. So and at the end of the day, it's just a matter of supervisors and anak buah. It's not a personal matters.
so in a way, you would say that you take it as a constructive feedback.
Yes,
Okay. Oh, that's really
that's a
good.
good way to put.
Yeah, that's a good way to go with it. Okay. So next is I'm gonna ask a bit more personal. So as me myself is also a master student, I encounter moments where I feel like, I'm not doing a good job. I don't feel like,
No.
I'm being what was it like master students enough? Is that word like feeling like you are doing the master's punya level of quality of work? So can you describe like specific moments or successful tasks during your research assistant work or your studies in masters that made you think that yes, I am fully capable as a master student?
So first of all, fighting, you got this. Actually, for my experience of like more than a year of being a master student, I can say that the feeling of you are not enough will always follow you, no matter how hard you think you are trying. So it must have you too comfortable lah. You will feel that you are not enough. Why I'm doing like this? Why diorang boleh, why I tak boleh? So that's a normal human being to feel that. But what I can say is, for me, bila I buat something experiment and the result tu dapat exactly of what I hypothesized, of course I feel like, oh, dunia ni milik aku. so so yeah, you will have that like sort of, oh, I am a master student, I can solve this. So take that, like I said before, so take that moment, cherish that moment, that uh, and I can say that copy lah how you solve the problem. I always put it like this: a negative result is still a result. So there's no right or wrong in your master.
Go into the next question. So let's say you did going straight into your master research right after your undergrad, right? So how do you, handle the feeling of, bypassing the traditional entry level industry? So usually when we said, like I said earlier, when we talk about, after finish undergrad, usually people will work for a while and then further their masters if they need. So how have you ever felt like macam lack of confidence, like imposter syndrome, that you see your colleagues, your peers are doing entirely different things, and you are now, studying and also working.
Okay. So actually, that's also my past experience because after we have finished like uh, 4 to 5 SEMs, and then we have internship. So during my internship, I didn't do internship in Malaysia. I do internationally, and we are also doing a research work. So actually, if I want to go back to my past, I would say that I will secure a position in company very fast because I think that I spent a lot of time overseas during my intern, so I want to take a little short break from industry or also institute. So yeah, I'm I'm at home and I'm doing unemployed unemployed person punya kerja hari-hari, masak, and then doing unemployed. And then when it comes to the third month, you don't have any reassurance that you are in the industry. You start feeling gelisah lah, because everyone is kerja, everyone have gaji, everyone is started their career development, but you are. So it's a lie if I say I didn't have any imposter syndrome during those hard time of my life after internship. But when I can say that you have to make your own move. Like for example, you have to cantikkan your LinkedIn, and you have to non-stoply sending resumes to the companies. Yeah. And also, for my personal opinion, I think that most of my colleague, most of my friends, they already got their workplace. I mean, they already penetrate the industry because their previous internship, serap masuk them. I would say like, tak boleh lah compare sebab diorang punya tempat lain-lain kan. Yeah.
Would you say that you still have that imposter syndrome even right now, or no?
Oh, right now. I would say because I already started the master, and the feeling of imposter started to wash down lah.
Okay, let me give you like what we say, like what if, okay, what if you are currently just doing your masters and not furthering your research you're not doing work as a research assistant, so you're not being paid, but you're just doing your masters. So do you think that the imposter syndrome would still be there?
Okay. So realistically, people in the master research usually mostly they will do their master if there is a grant. So this is just information lah. So if I want to put it on your concern, maybe if I study somewhere else, because for now UM is giving a benefit of free tuition fee. So if I want to put myself in a position, if I went to another universities, I think the imposter syndrome would be still there in me because I have to keep paying my tuition fees, and also my my research, if my research doesn't work, so I have to buy the chemicals, the consumables with my own gaji, with my own money. I have money. So yeah, but since I was quite privileged as a UM student, so yeah, I would confidently put that the imposter syndrome still there, but not as much as when I'm not employed.
Okay. So let's say if I say that you have a argument with your professor, you can apply the methods that you say, which is take care of yourself, and then also try to converse it properly with your supervisor or your professors, right? But let's say if the issues is with your lab mate, so do you handle the issues the same way?
Mm, I would say yes, because I think that in the research field we have to be professional lah. We must not put personal feelings into anything. So let's say if they're because we have to keep remind each other because we are using the lab together. So if we didn't communicate, um, you know, something that
Mm.
will happen. So for me myself, I was a straightforward person. For example, this is for example, if they forgot to wash any of the equipments, I will directly ask the person lah, not in the group chat or something, or I will talk to him, talk to the person personally lah. Yes.
That's a good. You have a very good problem management skills. I would say. I would praise you for that. Okay, so we have a short break. So I'm going to go into the third section of the interview for the session. So we are going to talk about a bit of your life themes and balancing your role between as a student and also as a professional researcher. So I want to ask about because you are also a student who are, allowed to make mistakes and learn during your studies, but you are also a professional researcher, which means that when you make mistakes, are going to be asked about it. You have to be professional about, working environment as a researcher. So when you experience conflict, how do you handle the boundaries between, as being a student and also a professional researcher?
Okay. So how do I handle of the conflicts? I can say that from my student side, I have to read more lah, especially when I make silly mistakes such as because even though I said that result is still result, but before you do something, you have to know lah what people are actually doing. So for me, if you don't get my expected result or my desired result, is I have to re reread the papers all over again because research papers sometimes there are like thousands of words. So it's a common if you mislook on any certain specific details. So that's from my student part lah. So in the professional, for example, a minor mistake. For example, if forgot to switch off the lamp or something, so you have to you have to perbetulkan your kesalahan lah, rather than just state that I still a student so I cannot biasalah I student but mistake like that. So for me it's not professional lah. So if you do mistake, you have to be responsible on your mistake.
So if I ask you, have there ever be a situation or a condition where you feel like, you need to be professional, but you feel like, oh, I'm also a student?
I will say yes, especially especially when dealing with the outside organisation than your facilities. For example, if you want to do any collaboration with the companies, so so that's when I felt that
Do you feel like it's very stressful for you, or you can handle it?
I think for the first time it's not for the first time I met I counted that it's not, so I think that I can't do this anymore. But eventually, with a lot of redoing revisions and uh, keep on improving yourself. Eventually, it will pass.
Okay. So if I ask you, do you have trouble in, keeping balance between being a student and also being a professional researcher? What would you say the balance is?
Um, actually, I did. Actually, the gap that Miss Sarah have putting is not so significant lah. So because it's the same thing, a student and also a research assistant, because both of the position is assisting the professors and the higher up researcher.
Okay, let's say now you are also working, right? And you're taking your master's, you are taking your master's as a student. So would you say that there are certain things you sacrifice as a student or as a professional researchers, in order to balance these two parts of your life right now?
If you talk about sacrifice, that's a lot lah. The main sacrifice that I made is working so far away from home. So actually, I have quite a lot of experience of working or studying very far away from my home, but uh, that's one of it. That's one of it. Sometimes the negligence by the higher ups also affect on the money that even though we have grant, but we have to make everything into the procurement. So if that is delayed, also my work progress also delayed. So the sacrifice that I made, I can say is sometimes I have to buy something with my own money, and research punya barang ni tak murah lah.
That's a new perspective. I did not know that that can happen during research as a research assistant. So
Is that actually answering the question?
yeah, it does. Just
Okay.
I want to see how you navigate it mentally. Keeping yourself in a stable state. Because handling both masters and doing your job as well, both have a very high amount of stress. So how do you handle the stress?
Like I said much earlier, because you're a human being, so feeling of stress, feeling of you're not doing good enough will always be with you. So even though that I say that I can manage with keep on revision, but during the revision, of course, you will feel the stress. That's a very normal. So how do I handle is most of the time, because for me, I'm not, if I just take a break from the problem way too long, also I will feel anxious, so for me, I'm quite a person who selagi I didn't get the solution, I will keep on doing the work non-stop until I get what I want or what should I do. Then I can rest.
So you say dedication lah. You say dedication to get the right things, the right result.
Yeah, but not so. Maybe dedication, but also just my personal just my personal thingy lah to.
Sorry, if this question might be out of the topic because I'm not from research background. Does for your course, does you have a lab outside of education center, like universities, or it just exists in universities?
Oh, actually, where I am right now is one of what you mentioned lah. Because we are biotechnology specific research center. So compared to the main campus that have all the faculty. Here, the main focus is the sheep and the banana plant lah.
Okay, so it's like a research center, right? It's not like you are in a education environment, is it?
I know.
Okay. So, because the question is, do you feel like worried because staying continuously in the study environment, you missing out on corporate survival experience? So, would you say that you have no issues with that because currently you're also working in not education center but also a biotechnology office? So, would you say you have no issues with that?
Okay, so to be honest, the worry is there lah.
You feel quite worried lah. But is it like very severe or just like worried? But I think you can handle it.
Personally, because we don't know what future awaits us, right? I can say that my pathway is maybe nanti I will become a lecturer, but also we can be other profession as well. So that worry is quite based on what your future awaits lah.
So okay, so you do highlight in my forms that you were doing your masters on a grant, right? So
Yes.
can you explain a bit how your grants works or from the background of it a bit?
So shortly lah, my grant is from international funder from Australia. So when my supervisors grabbed the chance to secure the grant position with the company, so they have specified what project they want to do, and of course, from the point of view of lecturers and research officer, they are very very busy. So they have to hire a person to do the project in order for the project to work lah. So from the grant we have educated around 105k, and to hire me as a research assistant, they have allocated 48,000 lah for 2 years contract to 2k per month.
So may I know, is there like a certain rules or regulation that might make your grant revoked?
Yeah. So when they're signing the contract, there's like 15, I don't know, there is a lot lah. Yeah, because when you're doing NDA or MOU or LOI with people, of course, we want the contract to be beneficial to both parties. So, yeah.
Okay, like now that you say that it comes with a lot of rules and regulations,
Yes.
so having a grant is quite a privilege, as a master student because masters is very expensive. So, but it also comes with responsibilities, especially involving international companies. So,
Yes.
how does the pressure, the thoughts that I'm working with international companies and they are funding my studies affect your stress level and the choices that you make?
Okay, so I can say that the pressure is, of course there must be a pressure because you get money from people and people expect you to do great lah. So conventionally, my funder will have our research team with the funder will have like annual progress meeting. So yeah, the pressure was peak during the time we want to present our progress report to them, and I could say, yeah, the level of stress are the same with other occasion because yeah, we are constantly doing the research project.
So as as being a youngest, involving in international relationship and everything, does you think that being the youngest make you feel more, lack of experience compared to those who are older in your teams?
Yes, of course, because my research team not only consists of the associate professors, but also a research officer and also a veterinarian. So of course, if I want to put myself in the position in the research team, I was just like a potato in my research team because yeah, I just graduated and yeah.
Okay, so now that you say that just in early of the interview session, you said that you immediately was offered this grant when you finish your undergrad, so you immediately took the chances. So
Yes.
if let's say this specific grant that you get hadn't been offered to you after your undergraduate degree, where do you think you'll be at right now?
I would say I will be working in companies that make feed because my background of my final year project is doing animal feed. Yeah, so that is where I imagine I would be right now. But yeah, feed has different side for me. So here I am.
Mm. So how does that thought, that you might not have the grant, do you prefer to do this grant research, or would you prefer to work if you do not get the grant? Like the thing that you said before lah, if you do not have the grant that you would want to work, right? So is that, a thought on that? Do you ever feel like you regret doing your grant research?
Oh, actually, for that question of regret, I think I like where I am because I wouldn't say I have a regret on accepting this offer because I think the pros is much more than the cons. So if I can force myself to accept the cons, so there's so many benefit I can get lah from this offer.
So this is the last for our interview session. So thank you so much for being throughout the whole interview session with me. So academic theory suggests that committing heavily to a specialized path at a very young age can sometimes limit your options. So these options we can say work option or life options in general. So, do you ever feel trapped by your own specialization, or do you view it purely as a getaway to a career freedom?
Okay, so I would say that I disagree because for me personally in here also, I'm not kind of trapped on doing same research all over the days or every day because sometimes there are, like I mentioned before, there is an event and there is a workshop on different things that's not only related to the animals but also on the plants and also the aquatic on the wildlife. Sorry. So if you want to pinpoint the gap on the 20s and the 30s, so I think there are no significant.
So you disagree with the theories, is it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that's all I want to know about your experience working as a research assistant and also furthering your masters in your um specialization. So thank you, Miss Anisraya, for being with me today. And
Thank you also, Sarah. I wish you all the best for your master.
all right, thank you.